Don't watch these videos if you are alone. Did you know Canada has a highway where people vanish and their cars are later found abandoned, engines still warm? At first glance, it looks like any other road. A long stretch of asphalt cutting through endless trees. Mountains in the distance. Fog that rolls in without warning. No streetlights, no houses, no phone signal. But locals don't call it a highway. They call it a corridor. Because once you enter certain parts of this road, you don't always come back the same. This highway runs through northern British Columbia, connecting remote towns separated by hours of wilderness. For outsiders, it's just a shortcut. For locals, it's a place you don't stop, especially at night. The disappearances didn't start all at once. They happened slowly, quietly, over decades. One missing person, then another, then another. Young people, old people, men, women. Some were hitchhikers, some were families. Some were experienced drivers who knew the road well. Their cars were often found days later, pulled over calmly, not crashed, not damaged, engines still warm, as if the driver had stepped out and never came back. No footprints leading into the forest, no signs of struggle, no blood, just a car, waiting. Police initially blamed accidents, wildlife attacks, getting lost in the wilderness. But something didn't add up. Search teams would surround the area within hours, dogs would be brought in, helicopters would scan the forest, and then something strange would happen. The scent trails would stop, not fade, not scatter, just stop, right beside the road. As if the person had vanished into thin air, truck drivers were the first to speak openly. They drove this highway regularly, often alone, often at night. Many of them told the same story, even though they'd never met. They spoke about figures standing on the shoulder of the road, not waving, not moving, just standing there, watching the trucks pass. Some drivers said the figures looked human until headlights hit them fully, and then something felt wrong. Too tall, too still, too quiet. Others reported picking up hitchhikers who spoke very little. One driver said his passenger asked him a single question. "Do you hear it too?" Before the driver could respond, the passenger vanished from the seat. No door opened, no sound, just an empty seat, still warm. Drivers began refusing to stop for anyone, but that didn't stop the whispers. Several survivors, people who almost disappeared, later shared chillingly similar experiences. They described sudden exhaustion while driving, heavy eyelids, a powerful urge to pull over, just for a second. Some said the road felt longer than it should have been. Familiar landmarks seemed out of place. Time felt wrong. One woman said she drove for what felt like 20 minutes, only to realize 2 hours had passed. Another said her radio suddenly turned to static, and then she heard her name, not over the radio, from outside the car, calling her softly, from the trees. She said the voice sounded like her sister. Her sister was hundreds of miles away. She stopped the car, opened the door, and then she froze, because the voice didn't come closer. It stayed exactly where it was, as if it didn't need to move. She slammed the door and drove until sunrise. When she reached the next town, she learned her sister had tried calling her the night before, at the exact same time. Local Indigenous communities were never surprised by these stories. They had warned people about this place long before police reports existed. Elders spoke of spirits that imitate human voices, of entities that lure travelers by using familiarity, of roads built through places that were never meant to be crossed. They warned, never answer a voice you can't see, never leave your vehicle, never follow something into the forest. They believe the forest listens, and sometimes responds. One of the most disturbing cases happened just before dawn. A driver's car was found pulled over neatly, hazard lights blinking, engine warm, headlights on. The driver was gone. Inside the car, police found a phone. The last unsent message read, "I don't think I'm alone. Something keeps walking beside the road." Search teams combed the area for weeks. Nothing. No body, no clothing, no trace. Years passed, but the disappearances continued. Some were explained. Accidents, crimes, mistakes, but many weren't, and the patterns never changed. Nighttime, isolation, a sudden stop. Even today, locals refuse to pull over on that highway after dark. Truckers keep their doors locked. Some drivers cover their mirrors, not because they're afraid of what's behind them, but because they're afraid of what might be walking beside them. The road is still open. Cars still travel it every day. And if you drive it long enough, alone, late at night, you might feel it too. That strange urge to slow down, to stop, to listen. And if that happens, don't. Because on this highway, whatever takes people doesn't chase them, it waits.